This review is of the movie Cloud Atlas. It stars Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, one of the members of Monty Python, and a few other people, most of whom, well, there are several that are quite famous, and there are some others that I have no clue who they are. That's okay. This is a very interesting movie because it keeps on hopping through different periods in time back into probably the 1700s, maybe the 1800s, and far forward into a post-apocalyptic future where the human race is slowly dying off. And so Tom Hanks is the main protagonist in almost every time frame. Halle Berry, also a protagonist. The Monty Python guy, sometimes he's good and bad. And then there are some other people that they play lesser roles, although there is one the future role. The main protagonist is actually this Asian woman who I don't recognize at all, but you do see her in other parts of the movie, and she's dressed up to look like a Caucasian, but you can tell she's not a Caucasian because the makeup can only do so much to hide that difference. So we see these same people, some or all, from the cast in every time period. And we see certain themes occurring primarily amongst them as people trying to do good, people trying to do evil. Oh, man. I just remembered one of the other guys that's in the movie, Hugh. He played opposite Drew Barrymore in that Notting Hill series or whatever. No, the Diary of Bridget Jones or whatever it was. Hugh Grant. No, not Hugh Grant. Is that it? Anyways, he plays a minor role in some parts of the movie. Sometimes he's a good guy. Sometimes he's a bad guy. Does a very good job. Honestly, the acting in this movie is really, really good. Now, there is action in the movie. There is mystery in the movie. There is science fiction in the movie. There's history in the movie. And it's quite interesting. It's not for everybody. This is a drama, ultimately. It's not something else. It's a drama. And it's looking at reincarnation, which is something I used to believe in when I was younger, and then I realized, though it is much more feasible than some other beliefs, it's not feasible because there's just no proof that it happens. And I know somebody's going to say, well, I was reincarnated. And I said, well, good for you. But if everyone's being reincarnated to improve in the next life, why aren't they given their memory so that they can know what they did wrong and so they can avoid making the same mistakes? That would make sense. But anyways, I digress. Totally digress. Sorry. It's about reincarnation. Yeah, we're back on track. So you see these same characters over and over again in different roles, good, bad, whatever. And, in most of the roles, Tom Hanks is the good guy. In one role, he's seriously a bad guy. I mean, like, total psychopath. But it's interesting. We see all these different lives. We get a brief view of all these different lives. And ultimately, the story ends on this positive note of how, and I wish it would have had a greater meaning to it than it does. It does. It isn't all like, yay. There are moments where good people die, and moments when bad people die. Yes, but it's not all happiness. There is tragedy, massacre, a murder, assassination, all kinds of stuff. It's very diverse. And since it's got so many characters covered by such a small group of people, because they're reincarnated, you get to see different possibilities and you get to see different time periods. So I thought, and again, if you don't like dramas, you're probably not going to like this, but I thought this was really well done, really very interesting, and I thought that it was very impressive how they shifted from one time period to another time period and another time period and another time period. I think there were 4 time periods. I had to look it up. So in the movie there are 5 time periods, and the end of the movie is in the 6th time period. And I had to look up the cast because I just wanted to say Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, Jim Broadbent, Hugo Weaving, Jim Sturgis, Duna Bay, Ben Whishaw, James Darcy, Zhou Zun, Chinese, okay, Keith David, Susan Sarandon, and Hugh Grant. And those are the main people in the movie. And wow, it's just really, really interesting. And then as far as the time periods occur in the Pacific Islands, 1849, in Polynesia, I believe it was, then and on board a ship. And then in Cambridge and Edinburgh, 1936, San Francisco, 1973, London, 2012, Neo Seoul, 2144, and this big island in 2321. And that actually segues into the same people, or same 2 people, years and years later after they are older. But same as on the Big Island. So, yeah, I would give this an 8.5. I will give this an 8.5 because it deserves it. I'm sure they spent a lot of money doing all the different costumes, all the different sets, and well done. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you have a great day.